Welcome to Driveway Garage. How's everybody doing today? Well, it's almost the end of October and the weather's still nice where I live in Washington. It's getting colder every night and it's going to get down around freezing pretty soon, but the days are nice. So I'm working on a car. I'll show you what it is. It's a 2008 Nissan Altima. I'm going to replace the headlights. The passenger side is really bad. It wouldn't be very safe to drive at night, and I don't feel like sanding them down trying to make them look better. So for the price of them, I'll just got some new ones. First thing I'm going to do is drive it up on these ramps to give me some clearance underneath, because there's a bunch of clips or screws, something you have to take out down there. And in this video, instead of filming every little thing, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do, show you what I'm going to do, then pause the camera and do it. That way the video won't be so long. So now I'm going to pause it and get up on that ramp. Well, there it is up on the ramps. Emergency brake's on, it's in gear, and there's a block of wood behind the back tire, so it's not going anywhere. Oh, excuse me. Why they designed these so you have to take the bumper off to get the headlight out, I do not know. You could put some kind of a bracket on the front here and here that it slid down into, and then the bolts on the top, it would hold it steady. But they don't do it that way. There's a bolt here. There's a bolt here. I've got the sun right in my eyes. And it's supposed to be 3, so maybe there's another one under here, and then there's one on the side over here. Now, in order to get the bumper off, you have to take off this clip. There's a couple bolts or screws. Trim piece there, one missing there, one there, one there, one there. I don't think that one comes off, pretty sure. And then on the bottom, there's some screws and clips. I'll pause it and get down there and see if I can show them to you. Well, this one's gonna be a little easier. The splash guard is gone, so I don't have all these clips here to remove. And then there's only one screw here. There's supposed to be 3. So 2 of those are missing. Looks like somebody's hit something pretty hard and they bent the metal here. So that probably took out the splash guard. And I'm looking at the other side. Those 3 screws are there. So you see where my foot is. There's a screw there and a screw there and one back there. And those are Phillips. So I'll get my drill with the Phillips screwdriver in it. Pop those out. Well, they saved me a lot of work taking out 4 clips. Let me get started on this. I like to use power tools whenever I can. It's just faster. So I've got my Hitachi drill, and it's a little bit of an impact. It's a 3/8 drive. I just put in a Phillips screwdriver attachment, and I can back those screws right out of there if they don't break off. But I don't think they work. I think they're into plastic, so probably won't break. Then I'll get the bolts out, the tabs out, and then right on the corner of the bumper where it meets the quarter panel, you got to pull the liner inside back, and there's a, I think it's a 10mm bolt inside of there. I'll double check and show that to you in a minute. Like I said, I like to use power tools, so I just put a 1/4" drive adapter on here, and then got my 10mm socket for those 2. And I think it's going to be the same on the corners. And I have a 6-inch extension I'll use. Might make it easier. I got one of those clips out. I use this metal clip remover. You can see that red trim tool on the bumper, or the cowling, whatever. I use that sometimes too, but this worked real good, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them out with this, hopefully. So this is what these clips look like. You pop the center up, and this little tool has just the right gap. You can go in between. There's a slot there. There's 3 of them. It goes right in there. You can get underneath the center, pop it up out of there, and then they just pop up out of the bumper. I guess it's part of the bumper. I figured I'd bring you over here and show you what you have to look forward to. It's really not bad. I just got a trim tool in here, and I pried this inner liner out just a little bit, and the bolt is actually right in this corner going up that way. It's a 10 millimeter, I'm pretty sure. So I've got an extension on my drill. Where are you at? Yeah, right where my index finger is where the bolt is. So that should be pretty easy to get out of there. There's one on both corners. Here's the drill again with the extension I was talking about. Gives you a little more room so you don't have to have your drill right by the fender and stuff. Gives you a little working room. You could put a swivel on it if you needed to, but in this case I don't need to, I'm sure. And I hate working with swivels. They always go the wrong direction. It's just a little 10 millimeter screw, about a 1/2 inch long. Pretty easy to get out of there. Now you could take it out with the Phillips screwdriver, I see. So you could do it manually if you wanted, either way. But it is 10 millimeters. I just grabbed a random bolt. I'm going to put it in the top so when I pull on the sides of the bumper, the whole thing doesn't just fall to the ground, hopefully. So normally to get these bumpers off, you kind of have to get on the corner over there and kind of pull it out, sometimes back a little bit. But let's see how this cooperates. There's one side off. Perfect, the bumper's off. That was easy. Now we just gotta get the headlights out. I got lucky because it doesn't have fog lights, so I didn't have to unplug the wiring harnesses for the fog lights. Now let me get in here and I'll show you these bolts here. If you've never replaced a bumper, that's how they come off a lot of times. This year, for some reason, I bought a lot of cars that needed bumpers, front or back, and they all kind of come off similar. Clips and tabs and bolts. But I bought an old 99 Corolla and it had been hit. She had hit somebody. And not only did it break the bumper, but it damaged this piece of styrofoam and it bent this piece of metal in. So I went ahead and replaced everything. I got it from the junkyard. It's a lot cheaper than new. Anyway, if you ever have to do that. Now, as far as the headlights go, right on the top here, there's a bolt. There's a bolt. There's a bolt. And I think there's one hiding over here someplace. Which one would you be? I'm going to guess it's this one because there's a bolt there and a bolt there and a bolt there and a bolt there. But I think it's that one. We'll find out here in a minute. I'll get them out of there. Then we got to undo the wiring harness. Now the wiring harness, you can see there's a little tab right there. You got to squeeze that to separate it. Well, that one's broke. Don't have to worry about that one. And then it's just stuck in this little bracket here. So once you get the headlight off, you'll undo these little clips here, and then on the back, you got to undo everything, and I'll show you that in a minute. Good old trial and error, right? So you got 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the front on the bottom. That's the one. It was a different color. It was kind of rusty. I took this one out first. That didn't do anything. I popped that one out. Now the headlight is loose. So we'll get that thing disconnected. Hopefully it's at the right angle you guys can see. Okay, so what's holding it? Well, in the video I watched, or a few videos, they just pulled them out of there, but that wiring harness is so tight. That's all the play I have. So I'm going to start undoing the lights, see if that helps. This one should just twist. Okay, now that's out. That's your blinker. This might be another part of the blinker or emergency flashers. Twist and pull it out. I can't believe they don't give you more slack. That's weird. Well, maybe that'll twist out of there too. I hope. Boy, they just don't give me any room at all. Can't even get my hand in there. Okay, one more bulb out. This one isn't wanting to twist out of there, so I'm going to use this trim tool and see if I can undo the prong on it. Oh, I think you got to lift up, not push down. There we go. Now we have some room. Yeah, that baby's tight. They just don't give you any room. So I undid the clip on this one. You got to lift up on the tab. This one I twisted out. This one I twisted out. This one I twisted out. I'm going to have to use these lights because the new headlights don't come with them. The light bulbs or the adapters. So let me grab one of those. I'll just set this here for now. We can do a little comparison on them. This looks like the same setup. I guess you guys can still see. Let me back you up a little bit here. There we go. I've got this plastic that comes stuck to this, so that's protecting the lens. I've got a hole there and a hole there, hole there and a hole there, hole there and a hole there. This is how you adjust the headlight. And there's a hole here and a hole here. So, it should be good. I think. Yeah, there's just not any more room there to do anything, so. I went ahead and pulled that bulb out of there. I'm going to wipe it off because I touched it with my fingers by accident. I think these are the kind of bulbs, if you get oil from your skin on them, they burn out a lot faster. So we'll wipe her off as best we can. That one. Boy, I hope these babies are the same. They have these little pieces of paper on these that they stick on. And man, do they stick on. They don't just come off. I guess they're not made to come off in one piece, because they never do, at least for me. Usually poke a hole in the middle, start peeling it off. Get my trash can over here so I litter as little as possible. And see how sticky that stuff is? It's like stuck right to your finger. You can't get it off your finger. All right. Well, I don't want it inside the hole because I want to make sure it's getting good contact. Try to give you guys a better look at what it looks like if I can. See there, it's just a piece of plastic, but it's really sticky. I mean, a piece of paper. So once you get that all off of there, then you can put your bulbs in. Now let's see if I can figure this out. This would be a headlight. This might be fun. So that one should be this one. Let me see if they have a certain way they have to go. Yep. Those are not the highest quality, but there's a small prong here. Well, actually, this is the smallest prong, a little bit bigger and really big, so you can't put them in wrong. It's just a matter of, there you go. So is that right? I guess it is. It's going to be clipped in from the bottom. Stay up there, no falling down. That little bulb, what did I do with it now? See, this is my problem. Set stuff down, forget where I put it. Well, let me pause the camera. I'm going to figure out which bulb goes where and get those plugged in. Well, I searched for 10 minutes trying to figure out where the missing light bulb was, and I had never removed it from the wiring harness. So there it was. I was just miscounting. There's one bulb still in the wiring harness. It goes in this hole. I'm going to get this close and put that in and see if I can't get the wiring harness back to where it belongs and the right thing plugged into the right thing. Because these two are very similar, so hopefully the slack in the wire will show me which way they go. Let me go ahead and get those reconnected and see if we can get this headlight back in. So I got it almost all the way in there, and I was trying to find this last hookup, and I felt a piece of loose plastic, which is this. See if I can get you in a little closer. If I can get out of the sunshine, that might help. Anyway, it's broken a circle all the way around, so this whole piece is broke. It came that way because I haven't dropped it or anything. I was just trying to put it in there, and I was trying to find this connector, and I was like, what is this thing? And I thought maybe it was an adjustment for the headlight. I didn't know. I pulled it all back out, and it's broken all the way around. Now I've got some clear silicone, so I'm going to go ahead and run a bead around there just to keep water out, because otherwise water will get in there, it can, and fog up the headlights. Some of these cheap ones you buy off of Amazon do that anyway. So let me get that glued up, and then I'll get her put back together. But this wiring harness, right here is the problem. This section right here, there's no give in it. So that's it. If it had another 6 inches, you could pull it out. You could get access to everything, but you have to plug this in get your hand from underneath, and the bottom one same way. You got to reach in from below. So expect that when you do this. It's not going to be as easy as you would think, because this one just doesn't have enough room. Let me get this glued up or siliconed up and get her back together. I bought this stuff for another project the other day. Lexel, the tough elastic sealant for every job. So I'll get some of this on there, and this is clear, so it won't stick out too bad. If it was black, it'd probably be better, but this is what I'm going to use. Okay, well, there, the headlight is in. See how close I can get you. It's not too bad. It's not perfect. Maybe with the screws in it'll look better, so I'll go ahead and get those bolts back in there, and we'll see how she looks when it's all done. So I found out the corner bolt, as you're looking at it, the lower left, that bolt, that one's a little bit longer. The one I was trying to put in wouldn't catch, and I pulled another bolt out and it was a 1/4 inch longer. And since this plastic seems to be kind of brittle, I'm going to put it in with the socket instead of that drill. And I'm just going to snug them up. Maybe that bolt's in the wrong spot. It might be a little longer too. Yeah, it looks like this bolt and this bolt are the longer ones. This isn't lining up perfect. I hope it catches. Man, you can hear that plastic cracking when you put the screw in. So this bolt wasn't lining up. Now this bolt's not lining up. And there's just not a lot of play in these. Oh, come on. I'm going to leave well enough alone because it feels like it's going to strip out. I hope these aren't too hard to adjust. I don't even see any adjustment on it. Well, the other side is going to be the same. Maybe they'll have a little more room to work with, but I'll get the other side on and see if I can't get the bumper back on today. I don't know. You can buy these things for $200 to $300 a piece, or you can buy them, a couple of them for that, $150, whatever these cost. They just make them out of cheap plastic. A lot of times they just don't fit exact. And like this one, when I tightened that one bolt up, I heard it give a little crunch. Anyway, it's in there. Tell you what, I'm going to turn the headlights on real quick to make sure it works. We got headlights. We got headlights. We have bright lights. I guess we do. It's hard to see from that angle. Any blinker? Flashers will work, right? Yeah, I'm still not sure. Maybe that's a daytime running light for that one. Turn that light on. Okay, so that one's the daytime running light. All right, they work. I'll get the other side done and then I'll get the bumper on. I did something a little different here. I took this bolt out and laid it down here. I took this front bolt out and I laid it here. The middle bolt is laying here and the back bolt is laying there. That way I know where they came from. Won't be so confusing. I couldn't figure out why the light wasn't loose. It's because I took the bolt out of the cooler tank, overflow tank, instead of the headlight. Let me try that again. So this is the way it's supposed to be. You take the bolts out. Now this one was stuck a little bit, so I pried on it, popped out of there. Look at all the room I have. Plenty of room. I don't know why they did it the way they did on the other side, but it's frustrating. This side is going to be a piece of cake. Famous last words. There's a tab on the side of this one. You just have to squeeze it with some needle nose pliers. Then you pull her the rest of the way out of where it's stuck at. And looks like there's another one in here. Wonder if there's a better way to get that out of there. The other one you could picture from the sides, but it's enclosed in a little tunnel and it's turned the wrong direction. So I'm going to see if I can get it turned and get it pinched, and then the wiring harness should come out. Well, it's kind of being a pain, so I got a little pick. And I'm going to see if I can pull on the inside clip and release it, and then push on the outside and with this and get it out of there. I end up using a pick with a straight 90 on it. The other one had a little curlicue and it just wasn't working, but if you can get this in behind there and pull on it, it'll release one half the tab, then push on it from the front. You have to be pulling out at the same time, but I got her out of there. So there's one more clip, and it is right here. This other clip was up in this hole right here, so you don't have access to it. This one I have access to. I should just be able to crimp it with my pliers. Wiggle it out of it. There we go. I got all the light bulbs disconnected, except that one. Now it's disconnected. Wow. That was so much better than the other side. Now I see on this one, what are you guys looking at? There's an adjustment right there. So maybe there's a way on the other one. Hopefully you can access it. I'll tell you while I'm thinking of it, how you're supposed to adjust your headlights. You can do it at night where it's easier to see, or do it during the day, maybe pull it in a garage. But you want to measure up to the center of your headlights. And they're supposed to be, I don't see it on this old one, but there's supposed to be a little nipple sticking out or something right in the middle of the headlight. You measure up to that. Let's say it's 25 inches. And then you turn your lights on and you measure 25 inches on the wall, and on the driver's side you go down 4 inches, put another piece of tape. If you use some tape, you know, like painter's tape for marking. So whatever the center of the headlight is, then down 4 inches, and then on the passenger side, same thing. We're out the center of the headlight, down 2 inches, and then your headlights will be adjusted properly. I'll probably forget that later. Well, to you it probably looks like that daytime running light is working, but it's not. But I think it's the only one that you have easy access to. In fact, I'll show you real quick. It's right there. So I can just untwist it, put in a new bulb, put it back together. Everything else, you can see that one's hidden back there. The other two are down there. You might reach them from below, but you won't reach them from above. So I'm not going to worry about that one right now. I'll take care of it later. Now, I'm going to get this bumper back on here, hopefully. I'll film it. You guys can watch it. Otherwise, it's going to wrap up my video. I've done it before. It's pretty easy. You kind of fit one side, then get a bolt or two on the top just to hold it in place and finish fitting it. This one's a little easier because the splash guard's gone. I don't have to line up all that stuff, but I'll go ahead and film it, and you guys can watch it or not watch it, but I do appreciate you watching it. Hope it helps somebody out. Have a great day. I'll just use this pick just to keep it from falling. And we'll get this side of the bumper popped in. I'll get this rusty bolt back in, hopefully. The other side lined up. I'll bring you around here where you can kind of see what I'm doing. If I can find a level spot for this camera. Let's focus in a little bit. It's got little slots here, and I think there's tabs underneath that catch it. So just got to get it under there and there. It all caught. These bolts are going in real good. Now grab my trim tool and I'll work that liner back in there. I'll use the plastic one so I don't damage the paint. I'll see if I can get you guys down there where you can see what I'm doing. You can see where it sticks out a little bit. I don't know if that's supposed to be above the bumper, maybe that plastic part underneath that all the screws are missing out of. Let me lay down there and see. Well, since all the screws are out, that was easy enough. Now it's where it belongs. Oh, there it is. It's all popped back in. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'll see if I can find some screws to replace the ones that are missing, and then I'll get my brackets back on the top, and this project will be done. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it.